Hey everyone, my name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. If you like making money, subscribe to the channel. Typically talk about commodities and other undervalued investments, assets. If you like this content, give me a thumbs up. Leave any questions or comments below that you have on anything. Perhaps I'll answer with a video or a comment. So today I'm going to go over a market update. This market update is going to include yields. It's going to include a bunch of different diversified mining companies, uranium companies. It's got a whole bunch of stuff in here. So let's take a look and see what we're seeing in the market and what my opinions are on these companies. So I call this a market update. It's technical analysis. This is a 10-year, and you can see the 10-year looks like it kind of ran into some resistance. We do have a wick on the top here and a wick on the top. Typically that means it's a short-term bottom, but we've got a lot of momentum to the upside. Is this little pullback going to be sustained where we break this upper trend line? I don't know. We're going to have to watch the rest of this week to see which way the 10-year breaks. It seems like everything is very correlated to the 10-year yield. When the yield goes up, stocks and even precious metals and bonds, everything pulls back. When yields go lower, as we saw today, everything moved on up. Now this is the dollar. This is delayed one day, but we've had a nice strong uptrend here in the dollar recently. I broke this kind of downtrend here to the upside. I don't think it can be sustained for a very long period of time. What I think is going to happen is that they're going to control yields, and then they're going to have to, obviously they're printing more money at a very fast rate. But this might be tied to, I guess there's some problems in the repo market. You might want to check that out about the repo market and how we've got massive negative rates there. Which potentially could mean there's a dollar shortage there, which maybe has some correlation to this. I don't know all the inner workings of a repo market, but I'm just saying maybe there's some correlation there. I'm not 100% sure. For URNM, what's positive here is we have these nice big moves, and then the pullbacks are very small and muted. Nice big move up, and then we've got this pullback here. Is this breaking away to the upside? Remember, these things are highly correlated to the yields right now. So I don't know which way the yields are going to break yet. And whichever way that yield breaks, I think this is going to go opposite of it. That's my take on it. Same with Kenalaska. Now, by just looking at this, we have a lot of momentum going to the downside. It popped up, and we're up against this resistance of a 50-day. We could still see this head back down. But I think it highly depends on the yield and where the 10-year yield goes. If it goes down, I think these will go up. If yields go up, I think they're going to come under pressure, and I think the market's going to continue to sell off. Uranium Royalty Corp. Again, we've got, this one doesn't look too bad. We have a nice big up day and then two small down days. I would think this would go to the upside. But again, it's highly correlated to yields. We got to see what the bond market's doing. Deep Yellow, this guy's pulling back. But we do have a big up day and two small down days within it. I'd like to see these things contract a little bit more and hold its ground a little better than what it is right now. But it's looking okay. Encore Energy, looking pretty strong. We've got a nice hammer here, and then the small kind of pullback within it. When we popped higher, if we break out of this little congestion period, I think we'll move on up. What I'd like to see is yields be under control. Yields are going to move these things and twist them all around. So I don't think this can go higher if yields go up because I think we'll have an overall sell-off. But if yields remain flat, I do think these will do pretty well. SCCO looks like it's getting a little bit of legs underneath it. Nice little sell-off here. Whenever you see these big down days like this and then a contraction up with a little wick at the top, usually it means it's going to come back down. And it did. Came up, contracted, came back down, and then we're just kind of settling out here, and I think we'll eventually move to the upside. VALE is doing the same thing. I think we just had a little pullback here. Momentum's to the upside. I think this is probably going to head on up at some point. Archer Daniels Midland's looking fantastic. We broke out of this little pattern here, and it's just kind of popping higher and higher. So that's looking fantastic if you like ADM. ANG, so this is a Anglo American Platinum, ANGPY. Very strong uptrend, looking fantastic if you like that company. IMPUI, which is Impala Platinum Holdings. I know some people wanted me to chart these. It's looking pretty good. Not too bad. But I hate when they put all these little black candlesticks because they're kind of harder to read. I like these nice big white candlesticks that are up that show momentum is closing strongly. Those are the ones I prefer. Alphamen Resources have a little bit of a pullback. We'll see if this thing pulls back again just a little bit. You can see the volume dying off here quite substantially. I think this one might roll over. A lot of these are highly dependent on what yields do. It seems like when yields go up at this critical spot, the whole market wants to sell off. And if it goes below, if it goes down, these are opposite and they want to go up. So if you want to know which way all these stocks are going to go, just watch the bond market, the 10-year yield, $TNX, stockcharts.com. And it seems like these are just flinging around based off of wherever the 10 year is going. Looks like we potentially could have some turning points in some of the uranium companies. The other ones look like they're still working it out. So maybe we're getting a turn here. I'm always slow to buy, so I try to wait. I want to see what the 10-year does. If the 10-year drops, if it's steady and it just drops a little bit by little bit under a controlled movement, I think these are going to do pretty well. If I don't know if the Federal Reserve's in there or not, I don't know. But if yields go up and they spike, I think these are going to come under pressure. I think that's really ultimately what's driving this stuff in the short term here. If you guys like this content, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Leave comments below if you guys have any questions. And thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.